PDAC 2019, I'm here with John Contact, President, and Tom Meredith, the Executive Chairman of West Red Lake Gold Mines. Tom, I'll start with you. Give us an insight into your background and your experience.
Well, my background is business. I'm not a geologist, and my previous company was VG Gold, which was in Timmins. We had 4 old mines in Timmins, and we developed that from 60,000 ounces to 2 million ounces. We did some permitting and planning and all that sort of stuff. And then we sold the company at a good price and made good money for our shareholders. And we're looking to do the same with West Red Lake Gold.
I'm a business manager, as Tom mentioned, of himself as well. Tom has more focus on capital markets than I do, which is very important, and I cover the operations. The last company I was president of had an East Timmins former producing open pit, and we developed that asset, and now it's owned by Osisko Mining. So what we've done successfully, both Tom and myself as the management team, and also Ken Guy, our exploration manager, and David Black, our internal investor relations, have worked together to build value with gold exploration and development projects in Ontario.
I try to talk to retail institutional investors on a daily basis, and this forum at PDAC is a perfect example because it affords us an opportunity to meet shareholders, to meet prospective shareholders as well. People like to see what it is they're buying in terms of management and what they represent, so we can provide that tangible interaction. If I get any feedback from investors, good or bad, we want to know both. I will try and help with answering those questions. If someone signs up online, which we encourage people to do for our news releases, and I try to send a reply back thanking people for doing that and suggest that anytime they have an issue or any questions, please get back to us. If I can't answer them, I pass that on to management to follow up themselves.
Well, I've got over 35 years of experience in exploration, predominantly in Ontario and Quebec. I've done some international work as well with multinational companies, but most of my experience has been in Timmins, Quebec area, in Ontario, Quebec, including Red Lake and Timmins. So I've been in the exploration business for a while. I've been involved in a couple of discoveries with Tom and I discovered, we built the VG Gold package up and then got bought out by the McEwen Group. When I was working in Timmins for a multinational, I was working in Quebec. I was responsible for the geophysics and the drilling programs, and actually I did the first open pit on the Fenelon gold deposit, which is now in production. So I've been involved in the northern Ontario, northern Quebec area for a considerable time period.
So what was it that attracted you to the West Red Lake Gold Project? Obviously, Red Lake is a famous historic district in the world, but what was it about this particular project that both of you saw and thought, I'd really like to tackle this?
Well, we saw the potential to develop a significant resource that could be a mineable resource, and so that's what attracted us. They're not that easy to find, and it's in Red Lake. It was on good geology. There were 3 former mines on the property, so that's always a pretty good indicator that there's some potential economics there when there's previous mining activity.
Yeah. Anything for you, John? Anything that stood out for you?
Well, the Red Lake Gold District has produced 30 million ounces over time, but I think one of the most important things is that it's known for its high-grade deposits. And there was a time towards the end of the last cycle in the gold sector where sub 1 gram deposits that were large, but were getting large prices when they were on the market, but they're difficult to bring into production. Our inferred resource at the Rowan mine, where we're joint ventured with Goldcorp in Red Lake, is the inferred resource is 7.57 grams per ton, and it's close to surface, all within 500 meters of surface. So when you take high grade close to surface and improvement mining jurisdictions, then you can start it off with a good asset that you can develop from there.
I think you go a lot on history. I've worked with Tom and John, and I believe they're very ethical people in a very tough industry. As a junior company, there's obviously a risk, and it really is up to the investor to determine whether that risk is appropriate for them. I feel a confidence in representing them over the years because it's faith based on credibility on my part.
It's somewhat underexplored compared to Timmins or Quebec area. And this project, is proximal to the Red Lake camp. We lie on the major deformation structures that are hosting the gold in Red Lake itself. But again, we'd also like to enlarge in the deposit. It's right on the major deformation zone. And there's a lot of exploration potential both on the Goldcorp joint venture as well as on the West Red Lake property that's separate from the joint venture.
What about for 2019? What's the plan to really develop the project over the next few months?
The main part of the plan will be to continue to explore the new zone that we started on, the NT zone, just a few hundred meters south of our Rowan mine resource. But it has potential for developing a meaningful resource there as well. So that's where we intend to focus over the next year or so.
The main feature that attracts me to there is that it's a tremendous width of extreme hydrothermal alteration. I mean, the rocks are just totally obliterated. It's very difficult to recognize the precursors because the alteration is of such intensity. But the silicification, the carbonate alteration, the mineralization, just to me suggests that there's got to be something there, just that extensive hydrothermal alteration. And our plan is to go back there and try and enlarge in that area and follow up again on that known zone.
Well, we will be watching and anticipating news from the West Red Lake project. So thank you so much. It's great to see a team together, working through different projects and working for the value of your shareholders. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.